Okay, I'm going to begin with the obligatory rain poem. We're in Oregon, we have to do this. I was looking at weather websites, and you're apparently supposed to describe precipitation in terms of its character and intensity. Well, I get intensity, but what's this character about? So I listed some possibilities. Character and intensity of precipitation. Moderate intensity, mostly benevolent in character, raises flowers, nourishes crops. Heavy with high wind, spiteful, damages trees and power lines. Heavy without wind, indifferent. Watch for local flooding and rising rivers. Light, languid, can barely be bothered to dampen the sidewalk. Moderate but freezing, malevolent. Sneaks up on you. Avoid driving. Changeable with strong wind gusts. Mischievous. Eats umbrellas for lunch. Light with bright sunshine. Playful. Throws rainbows. Heavy with bright sunshine. Dangerous. Throws large hailstones. Heavy disguised as moderate. Untrustworthy. Monitor voting record carefully. I grew up in Tanzania, in East Africa. I lived there from the age of 7 to the age of 17, which are kind of the formative years. And I've been writing some poems about that, and they're not poems about that experience, which is now so far in my past, as much as they are poems about remembering that experience and reflecting on it. So I'm going to read a few of those. And the first one here, the title of this poem is also its first line. It's called Charlie Brown's Kite. Used to be the only shape I knew for a kite. Classic diamond, ribbon tail, a dream of flight doomed to be devoured by a starving tree. Now, any week at Cannon Beach, the sky is filled with dragons, box kites, bats, mantas, castle towers, mini parasails, strange, ungainly forms you wouldn't believe could fly. All colors of the rainbow ride the wind. Combat kites slice each other's strings among banners, birds, and monster silhouettes. My memory is 4 white stars on a ground of black, low in the southern sky. The Southern Cross, unlike its swan-winged northern counterpart, has no center point. Looks just like Charlie Brown's kite, flown from God's hand above a world of star-eating trees. Much of Tanzania is arid. Many parts are semi-desert, and when we lived there in the 70s, most people there made their living by subsistence agriculture. There was very little urban life, very little urbanization, and most people lived literally by the labor of their hands. Very few people had access to agricultural machinery like tractors. And this poem's about that. It's called Medium of Exchange. Sweat under endless rows of rustling corn, sore hands, aching back, feet caked with field mud, broken, bleeding blisters growing to cold callus. My hands still remember the handle of the hoe, heavy tool meant to break earth, chop stubborn weeds, bite deep as a moldboard plow. Whatever undergrowth under head-high corn my hoe, my hands missed, came back to haunt at harvest, spiny thickets stifling grain, reducing yield, dragging down the standard of living from beef to beans, from nourishment to near malnutrition. Corn for cash, grain for grinding. The more to the mill, the more to buy meat, field labor for food, calluses for corn, blisters for beef. And one more, when we first moved to Tanzania, we lived in a small town which was on the southern fringe of Mount Kilimanjaro. We could see it from the back door of our house. And I grew very familiar with kind of the southern aspect of it. And I've seen photographs recently. Mount Kilimanjaro has permanent snow on it, permanent glaciers. However, under the influence of global warming, these glaciers have shrunk dramatically and have changed the face of the mountain that I knew. This poem's titled Kilimanjaro. This sky is full of liquid continents, lightning bridges, thunder telegraphs, and realms of rainfall. Can I be content to live this way? Why can't I ever laugh at raisins dying in the sun? Intent on work, my numbers, figures, lines, and graphs will not protect me from the sentiment that leaps from ambush from a photograph. White glaciers shrinking under tropic skies, above the heat mirage savanna. Skull-faced drought stands in the open doors of full storehouses, mocking. I make no replies, but private calculus of global loss, my heart still hanging from the Southern Cross. This poem's called Surrounded by Doors and appeared in my first book, Knocking from Inside, which unfortunately I have no copies of anymore. So this might be your only opportunity to be acquainted with it. Surrounded by doors. Sorrow is a gateway to Allah. So is joy. Silence is a door to Allah. So is music. Both solitude and love are paths to Allah. I am surrounded by doors. I can open none of them, for none of them are closed. Nor can I go out to meet my beloved, for he is here. In the Sufi mystical tradition, like many mystical traditions, one of the goals is to destroy the self and to discover or rediscover the oneness with God, which the illusion of self is a barrier to. And so this next poem is titled, Found Baggage Lost Here. I have lost only what the moth loses in the candle flame, ash. I have lost what falls behind the turning sunflower, shadows. I have lost the milky scales that cover the eyes of a snake about to shed. I have lost the empty husk a cicada leaves in the ground for a few months in the chorus of summer after 17 years of darkness. At the baggage carousel, I couldn't find a bag with my name on it because all the tags said you. And this poem is called Bottle Without a Message. The bottle was empty. There was no folded paper or leaf with letters cleverly pricked into it, stuffed inside. There was no label, no drink me tag, no emblem cast into the colorless glass. But the wind across the neck whispered like a breeze in a grove of palms that covers an entire continent. Remember. And using the thick base of the bottle as a lens, I set fire to the wreckage of my lifeboat, and the blaze was visible for miles. And in the morning, the same knot letters spelled out the names of God on a lateen sail standing in to shore. I'm going to read a couple of poems. As a writer, I'm always interested in process. And I write a lot to prompts. And prompts can be anything. It doesn't have to be an exercise in a poetry book where someone tells you this is a prompt. It can be a phrase, something a phrase, an image, just anything that sparks your imagination. This particular prompt, though, did come from a book. I don't know the original source. It was sort of circulated in the poetry community originally by Dave Jarecki. And the prompt is, you bring out the blank in me. And the idea is you're supposed to fill the blank with something that you think no one could ever possibly use to describe you hope. And that's your starting point for the poem. So when I first heard this, actually from Steve Williams, moment I said to my husband, "Would you ever describe me as a moon maiden?" He gave me this blank look. So I said, okay, I think I'm on the right track. You bring out the moon maiden in me, the swirling, diaphanous, ice-glittering gauziness in me, the vapor-locked vacuity, the astronaut's air gauge reading 0 in me, the ethereality, purity, asynchronous inconstancy in me, the shining sphere of healing quartz fortune teller's globe of glass, gibbous green cheese Gibson girl in me. Meet me at the dew point and I'll jump into your gravitational well like Ophelia in the river. I'll shine with reflected light and a suicide's glamour. Captive satellite, willing slave in Newton's chains, I won't even wobble you on your axis. I'll wane uncomplaining and wax asymptotic. If any stars or starlets should dare to look on you, I'll stand in front of them. That's called occultation. I'll be a cult of one. You bring out the silver sickle cat's claw midnight magic in me, the star-sequined indigo rayon high priestess robe in me, the rhinestone tiara champagne blonde pageant princess in me, the true blue spoon june new age new moon maiden in me. Be my strong-armed Apollo, my hot rocket Armstrong, walk all over me.
What do you say, Rick?
Here's a different take on the same prompt. You bring out the lynch mob in me. You bring out the midnight knock, the knotted noose in me, the sheet with holes, the burning cross, the blown-up black church in me. You bring out things I never knew in me, the jackboots, submachine guns, barbed wire in me. You bring out the knife and the gasoline-filled tire in me, the chokehold, gun to the back of the head, jail cell suicide with mysterious camera malfunction in me. With you, I burn mosques, bomb synagogues, desecrate burial grounds. With you, I put all the bathroom signs back the way they should be, and if anyone suffers, it's their fault for being different. And you say this is God's will because you know I can't believe God is love. You bring out the spite in me and fatten it on alternative facts. You bring out the fear in me and promise a wall to keep me safe. You bring out the hatred in me and promise a war to make me strong. You plow me and sow me with dragon's teeth to bring out an army. But be careful, Mr. President. The legions I breed cannot be dismissed. Know no master, and will bite the hands that feed. I'm going to close with a poem that's titled Portland, Beaverton, Clatsop, and begins with an epigraph from William Stafford, whose writings I find increasingly timely. And this is from Citizen Here on Earth. Sanctuary, sanctuary, all that lives needs sanctuary. William Stafford. Breathe it where you feel safe. California, Colorado, Connecticut, New Mexico are sanctuary states. Portland, Oregon, and Portland, Maine are sanctuary cities. So are Beaverton and Clatsop. So is South Tucson, but not the rest of Tucson, Phoenix, or Scottsdale. Georgia outlawed sanctuary cities in 2009. Seattle, Puyallup, Kent, Boston, Amherst, Cambridge, safe. Breathe free. Chicago, New York City, where the lady lifts her lamp above the harbor. North Dakota State Penitentiary and Southwest Multiple County Corrections Center are sanctuaries. Dallas, but not Houston. Montpelier, Winooski. Sanctuary landscape changes fast. Watch the news. Small towns make tough calls. Federal dollars can mean loss of elder care, Meals on Wheels, road and sewer work, hard choices for public servants. We can't guarantee protection. We can't even protect ourselves from the blackmailers and bullies we've put in charge. Breathe where you feel safe. It's hard. Some days anxiety clutches your throat, pounds your heart against the inside of your chest, darkens the bright sky that arches over your new home, your old home, my home, this place we share, sky that holds this entire earth. If I cannot protect you, if I cannot offer you sanctuary, still, I will hold your hand. Thank you.